I mean, I like kind of brag on Michael Jordan here a little bit, and I think we were a similar ilk with the Jazz. Is I like where guys just tighten their belt up and say, you know what, let's go to work. We just got to get better. Yeah. We got to play harder. We got to play smarter instead of just, where's the grass greener? I'm going to go there and win a championship. I think it devalues that. You're not climbing the mountain. You're taking a helicopter to the top.
Totally agree.
So
John Stockton sat there calm, collected, and colder than a February night in Utah. Then he dropped one of the hardest reality checks the NBA has heard in years. You're not climbing the mountain, you're taking a helicopter to the top. That wasn't a stray bullet. That was a sniper shot aimed directly at LeBron James. And the wild part? Stockton didn't yell. He didn't rant. He didn't perform for the cameras. He delivered that line with the same steady confidence he used to run an offense for 19 straight seasons, fighting in the trenches every night without ever begging for stacked rosters or superstar favors. This wasn't some loud entertainer reaching for clicks. This was John Stockton, the silent assassin, the precision passer, the Iron Man legend who dropped 15,806 assists without ever crying about teammates, front offices, or situations. So when he calls out a player for taking shortcuts, it hits different. It hits deeper. It hits harder than any old-school rant you've ever heard. Because Stockton came from a world where loyalty was the norm, not a marketing slogan. A world where staying with one squad for decades wasn't wasting your prime, it was honor. It was commitment. It was the grind. And that's why this moment might be the beginning of something bigger. A crack in the armor of LeBron's legacy, a crack that's starting small, but spreading fast. Stick with us, hit that subscribe button, because what comes next? Oh, it gets way crazier.
Around the league are looking like, yeah, you're LeBron, but you're not 27-year-old LeBron. You're not even 34-year-old LeBron. Like, you're an old man now who's dictating and destroying the Lakers because you want your son to play, and look what's happened.
Let's break down that helicopter line, because on the surface it sounds like classic old head talk, but Stockton was aiming much deeper. He wasn't just talking about team hopping. He was talking about culture. When Stockton says climbing the mountain, he's talking about the Utah Jazz way. Year after year, he and Karl Malone went to war. They battled through the Western Conference gauntlet, ran into Michael Jordan twice, got their hearts ripped out on national TV, and still showed up the next season hungry for revenge. No shortcuts. No backdoor exits. No super team vacations. They took every punch, stood back up, and kept climbing. Now compare that with LeBron's path, and you start to see exactly why Stockton's words hit so hard. When Cleveland got rough, LeBron took off to Miami to join Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. When Miami's run cooled off, he went back to Cleveland only after Kyrie and Kevin Love were secured. When that team cracked, he headed to LA with Anthony Davis. And every time the road got steep, every time the grind demanded more, LeBron found a new helicopter waiting for him. But Stockton wasn't just comparing resumes, he was talking about the difference between building something and buying something. The Utah Jazz built their championship window the slow, honest way. Draft picks. Development. Chemistry. Culture. Pain. And persistence. LeBron's championship windows were assembled overnight. Star signings, blockbuster trades, power plays, and front office reshuffling. Sure, he won rings, but Stockton's message was simple. How you win matters just as much as winning itself. And as time passes, more and more people are starting to agree. White medium star the retirement test, the part nobody talks about. Here's where it gets brutal. When the lights fade, the noise dies, and a player retires, all that's left is their story. That's the true test of greatness. Jordan's legend? It grows every single year. His flu game becomes more iconic. His finals moments feel more mythical. Even his losses get folded into the greatness of his story. But LeBron? His decline is happening in real time and fans are watching. When was the last time a LeBron moment felt mythical? When was the last time he left fans screaming, calling friends, losing their minds? It's been years. Retirement won't freeze his greatness, it will expose how much of it came from longevity, stat accumulation, and calculated moves. Playing 21 years sounds incredible. Until you realize a large chunk of those years were average seasons used to pad totals. Being the all-time scoring leader sounds legendary. Until you remember the record came from pure mileage, not dominance. And then comes the biggest question. How many of LeBron's rings were truly earned through adversity? Because Stockton's helicopter analogy? It's aging like premium wine. White medium star, the authenticity crisis. This is where things get even deeper. Stockton represents pure, unfiltered, old-school authenticity. LeBron, fair or not, has become the face of the polished, manufactured, corporate athlete. Stockton spent 19 years in Utah. Not LA. Not New York. Not Miami. Just Utah. Grinding. Building. Never asking for a shortcut. LeBron's entire career? Every major move feels crafted by a media team, a brand squad, and the clutch sports machine. The decision wasn't basketball, it was television. The return to Cleveland felt like image repair. The move to LA was as much about Hollywood as hoops. Even his Instagram captions feel like committee-approved slogans. And people are noticing. Legends, who usually stay silent, are now speaking up. Fans feel the shift. Teams aren't heartbroken when he leaves. Cities don't crumble the way Chicago did for Jordan or LA did for Kobe. LeBron never became a city's heartbeat. He was always a visitor. White medium star, the Bronny factor, the biggest red flag. If you want the clearest example of Stockton's criticism, look at Bronny's situation. LeBron didn't let Bronny climb the mountain. He lifted him into the league with a helicopter. Bronny didn't dominate college. He wasn't a top draft pick. He wasn't NBA ready. But the Lakers drafted him because LeBron wanted it. Because LeBron always gets what he wants. That was a legacy move, not a basketball move. And fans can see right through it. Meanwhile, Stockton's kids had to grind on their own. No shortcuts. No favoritism. That's the difference. That's the mountain versus helicopter mindset. White medium star, the clutch sports empire. People forget LeBron isn't just a player. He's the head of a business empire with influence across the entire league. Clutch sports impacts. Free agency. Draft picks. Media narratives. Coaching hires. Player movement. Public perception. That's why so many players stay silent. Criticizing LeBron can cost careers. But here's the price LeBron pays. The bigger his empire gets, the more his authenticity erodes. Stockton stayed pure. LeBron stayed powerful. And one day, fans always pick purity. White medium star, the long game, Stockton might be right. So here's the million-dollar question. Will LeBron's legacy fade while Jordan's and Kobe's grow bigger? Every sign points to yes. People today crave authenticity. They crave true stories. They crave fighters, not strategists. Ali sacrificed his career for what he believed in. Jackie Robinson broke barriers against impossible odds. Jordan got beat down, came back, and conquered the world. LeBron's story? It's optimized. Calculated. Engineered for success, not sacrifice. That doesn't build mythology. That doesn't build forever fandom. That doesn't build legacy. And that's why many believe that in 10 years, LeBron won't be in the GOAT conversation. He might not even be top 5. Because when you strip away the business empire, the polished branding, the support,